How are you? How is the weather at your end? You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so Ayobami Omoniwa, I'm going to be your host again this evening, and good to have you here. You're very welcome to the SOAR webinar. Uh, is an event from the Institute of Family Engineering Development. Um, Welcome, welcome to learning and hearing about the new rules of family life practice. And I'm sure that you were amazed. Yeah, I'm certain and I'm sure that you learned a lot yesterday. Yesterday was powerful. Oh, and today you're on for a ride. You're on for a ride, so you're welcome. This is the very blessed time to invite your friends, If you know people that, they can transform Africa, you're certain that these people, they should be here. They shouldn't miss out on this. This is the very time, this is the right time that you should invite them. Please get them into the room. Get them into the room. You shouldn't hear this alone. You've had conversation about your experience yesterday with your friends. Tell them we're starting now. They need to be here. They need to hear this. They need to be here. I mean, we have another speaker today, but I mean, they still need to be here because I mean, she's another powerhouse, and you're going to be hearing different levels, a new level of insight. You're going to have a new level of insight. So please get them here. Get them here. You're welcome. I need for you to tell us where you're joining. I want to take this time to appreciate those of you who have, registered for the course. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for investing in yourself. Yes, thank you for investing in yourself. And I promise you that your life cannot be the same. It can remain the same. It can remain the same. And for those of us who haven't, I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're waiting for. To be able to transform anyone, and even the world around us, it starts with you. This is your chance to transform your life, transform yourself. So please, you know, get on that trail now. You can hear my colleagues say that even our platform is like a master class because you get to learn every day. People are not hoarding knowledge, hoarding information there. People are freely sharing. So even aside our, certification, you get to learn every day. Okay, good to have you. Mbuso, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mbuso, welcome. Welcome. Someone says, I can't hear you. I'm certain it's your device or network. You're welcome from Zimbabwe. Isaac joining from Lagos. You're welcome. You're very much welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Olaniru Rita, you were here yesterday. I remember very, very, very clearly that you were here. Derek, yes, you were also here. Gadi from Ekuleru, South Africa. Okay, I hope I pronounced that correctly. You're welcome. Etiowo from Abuja, you're welcome. Winette, okay, you're welcome. Caroline, you're welcome from Nigeria. Day. I hope that's correct. That pronunciation is correct. You're welcome. Esther from Zimbabwe. Olanike, I see you. You're welcome. Please get your family members here. Get your enemies here. Get your enemies into the room. They need to learn, right? They need to learn. Olajumoke and Prophet Relevance, thank you. From Liberia. You're welcome. Good to see you. Please do me a favor. Yesterday was powerful, right? Would you please share just one insight, that you gained from yesterday's session? Just one thing that you gained from yesterday's session. Something that you think that going forward, it can't depart from you. In short, you have started using it. It has become a part of your life just from being here yesterday. Go ahead and feel free in the comment section. Let's read from you. Let's read from you. Again, if you haven't registered, if you haven't joined this amazing family, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's going to be like a disservice, So just do yourself the favor. And amazingly, the way that the Institute has structured it, you can even pay in bits, You can even, still take the loan route and all of that. So I think that's beautiful and that's helpful enough. Okay, someone says professionals don't judge. Yes. All the judging us here yesterday, we changed names. We no longer answer that. We don't discriminate anymore because these people are also our potential clients, right? So that when you keep an open mind, you have the opportunity to then transform them. Okay, you can't be a blessing to someone that you're even already judging. Okay, what else? Who else learned something yesterday? Who else learned something? Nothing has meaning unless the meaning. Okay, nothing means anything unless the meaning that you give it. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Annette. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. You are more than enough. You have the capacity to change at least a life. Yeah, I think that's belief change. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. South Africa in the house, Moniloa. Okay, pardon me, forgive me. Okay, beautiful. You're welcome. Yeah, don't be judgmental. Oluwakemi, yes, don't be never, never be. See everyone as potential customers. Okay, I think that's still borderline the same thing. Thank you for sharing that. How many of us remember when PF said, what you know is what you know, but what you know is not all there is to know. How many of us remember that? What you know is what you know. Yeah, but what you know is not all there is to know, meaning that there's still a lot more. There's still a lot more that you can learn, that you can learn. Absolutely. Thank you. The biggest error in the world is the error of assumption. All you know is all you know, but not that okay, but it's not all there is to know. Yeah. Thank you. The Zoom user. Okay, I think some of us still didn't get the part where PF said, you change your name to what you want us to, how you want to be addressed. Okay, so let me put that in. All right. Gladys says, to stop limiting myself. What I know is not all there is to know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kenya represented. We see you. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. We see you. We see you. We see you. I can't wait to see you in class. I mean, people here are amazing. It means that you learned something. It means that yesterday was powerful. So yeah, the first principle as a professional is neutrality. Absolutely. 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 That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you need to keep an open mind always. Always. No discrimination. Okay, Onoche Dixon from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you. So good to have you. It's beautiful. Now, we have another practitioner, I would say a colleague in the house who is going to be sharing his experience with us. Again, this is not we are bringing people here live. It's not a recorded, no. People who they record, I mean, my colleague is one of the people recorded, so I know we've all experienced whatever we're talking about, right? But this person is right on the call today. And I honor you, Coach Chijioke Moses. Please have the floor and share your experience with us. Thank you.
Good evening from Nigeria, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me, please? Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Okay,
loud
good
and
evening. My
clear.
name is Coach Chidoke Moses. Okay, I'm just here to take the next few minutes to talk about FSC and how much FSC has impacted me and my practice. Right. So my the reason why I came into this program was because I'm a pastor and I've always had this interest in counseling couples. So for many years now, I've had people come to me, couples that are married, people in courtship, and people who are dating come to me, to seek for solutions. And I realized that it was always the task of counseling was, always very overwhelming because sometimes they come to you and then they are dumping all their many things on you, and then you have to spend so much time. So you have to listen to the man, listen to the lady, and then spend time talking to them So it was so exhausting doing that. And so I started looking for a way out, just a way to simplify the whole process, and then also getting results, because at the end of the day, most times when they come, you end up talking and talking and talking, and then there's no result at the end of the day. So that was what brought me into the led me to discover FSC, and I signed up for it. And my God, it was I had the time of my life during that training. It was something else. It turned my whole life around personally. Yeah, because that's the first thing that the program will do for you. It's not just a program where you come to learn how to help people. You get help first of all for yourself before you start talking about helping others. And that was what happened to me. Right here in the class, it was me just, like my marriage was just opened, like a book before me, and I saw all the mistakes we were making. And till date, most of the things I learned in class are the things that is helping me and my wife, helping our marriage, helping our family. Yeah, and then of course, you are also armed in class with the tools that will help you, also be of help to others. So it simplified the process for me. These days, people come to me for counseling. It doesn't take anything. I just, instead of asking too many questions, I just give them, the Oyela, and they fill it out, they send it back to me, do a report, give back to them. And so it's just easy and seamless. And then another thing that I learned from FSC is that you don't, most of us think that counseling is where you sit people down and you are telling them what to do, teaching them. For me, it was a light bulb moment, because for the first time, I realized that counseling is not about you just talking and talking and advising, and it's different from giving advice. I realized that as a counselor, my job is to help you know my client draw out wisdom. Yeah. There's a scripture I love so much. I think it's in Proverbs 20, something like that, 20 verse 4. Also, it says, counsel is like deep waters in the heart of a man. It says, a man of understanding will draw it out. So I learned in class that everybody has counsel in them. Everybody has, somehow, what to do is, the solution to what you're going through is trapped on your inside. You just need a man of understanding to help you draw it out. And that was a eureka moment for me. And another thing that actually happened in the course of our class was how that, you know, um, the class changed my own personal life too, because I remember the class that we had on I think it was one of those quantum reality classes, Tree of Life, Jar of Life, and all of that. I remember that class with Zuriel. I'll never forget it in a hurry. I and all my classmates, we cried throughout that class, because it was, I'd never, sometimes you think you are whole, sometimes you think you have it all figured out, but when you come into that kind of class, you realize that there are still a lot of things, baggages on your inside that you need to. And so it was just, we unburdened in that class, and it was so, till date, the impact of that class has not left me, hasn't left me. And so I want to encourage everybody here to, get involved. Okay, get involved with. Don't even think it twice. Don't think it twice. It's like killing one stone with two birds. It will help you if you are single. There's something for you in the program. If you're married, there's something for you in the program. If you're cutting, there's something. Wherever you are, if you are divorced, there's something for you in the program. Whatever your parents, your whatever category, of course, somehow we're all involved in family life. So just get involved. Register for the class, sign up, and it will help you. It will help your marriage. It will help your relationship, and then it will also help you help others. Another thing that sorry, another thing that it opened me up to is the business side, to the practice, because before now it used to be just about just doing this thing because it's a passion. And then I learned that I could make money from this, and I've been making money from it, trust me, making money from it. So the money you are going to invest in this will come back to you and more. It will come back to you and more. So yeah, it's an investment. And then another thing, which is the last thing I want to talk about, is the community, the post-class community. My God, I can't. The support that I've gotten from that community. Before now, I used to think I was the only person that had passion for family life practices in the world, until I met that, I met FSC, and then the practitioners community. I belong to it, and every day we share thoughts. Every day we, share wisdom. PF and the team at different intervals, they hold classes for us, different kind of classes, and help us, fine tune and better our practices. So, and then the fact that I've now made friends, met a lot of people, met people that I used to admire from afar, PF, Coach Dinma, and all of that. They are now, people in my corner. So for me, I think that's one of the biggest milestones. So the amount I paid for this program is nothing compared to the value that I got and that I'm getting, still getting, and I'll keep getting from it. So that's just my
Thank,
little contribution to, yeah,
thank you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Chijioke. Or maybe I should say Pastor Moses. Thank you. Good to have you, sir. I mean, you've heard from him. I want to quickly just share a bit of my experience at the institute. So I think that the first thing that the institute gave me was clarity. Because I mean, before you even get to use the tool Oyela on anyone, you're going to be using it on yourself. And it helps you to kind of understand yourself more. Now, there's nobody you want to help that just wants to like just listen to you and just you then dish advice and then they go. No, they are open to, gaining clarity first. And then it feels like, oh, once you're able to give them that, you know what you're doing. And you want to be that coach that knows what he's doing. So whatever you're even learning is first for you. And I think that that's what the institute gave me. That was the first thing they gave me, aside other thing, of course, also the business part. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on our speaker for tonight. Oh, goodness. So, I mean, so if you are smart enough to register, you're going to encounter her in class. But before you do, you're going to experience her tonight again. And then you will know why I said invest in your life, in yourself, so that you get to hear her again beyond this, 2 hours webinar, because you need to hear her again. She's a seasoned voice, highly respected. She's knowledgeable. She's brilliant. She's meticulous. She's detailed. I mean, she's so I've encountered that at the institute. I've also encountered that somewhere else because I told myself, you see, this woman is bumper to bumper. You have to follow her because of the wealth of knowledge that she carries. I will humbly introduce
So I need to
our
restart.
amazing Coach Chidinma Nwobi, popularly known as Coach Dinma. You're welcome, ma. Is she on? Okay. So I think that okay, she's having technical issues. Okay, so let me just also share one of the things that I gained from the institute. So typically people will come to me for counseling, and I was using native intelligence. To be honest, if you are that coach and you're on this call, please make up your mind that you are going to do everything in your power to stop using native intelligence, meaning that from whatever books or whatever you think you have read, you're just dishing out advices. You're going to do more harm, than good. So our coach is back on. I mean, I was talking about, I wish that she heard the way that I introduced her. She's someone who has my heart every day, every time. And you need to really experience her for yourself. You're very welcome, ma.
Thank you, Ayobami. Don't worry, I heard all the things you were saying. I'm like, why is this woman wasting our time when we should be talking about family systems already? But I appreciate the introduction and it's glad to be here with us all. And like Ayobami said, and Chijioke, if you're here, you should put encountering IFED in your gratitude journal for today. And in fact, references that's one of the things that God has done for you to start your 2026. So welcome everyone. My name is Chidinma Nwobi, and I also work as the Director of Studies at the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, and I'm excited to be sharing this time with you. So You've encountered PF yesterday. We've done a bit of introduction and also taking you through certain things. For tonight, we want to now begin to explore what are these new rules of family life practice? Because I believe that it's when you know what rule governs the industry that you want to feature in, when you know that things have moved, particularly, for example, if somebody is in 2026 and wants to be able to type out stuff to communicate with people, and the person continues to cling to their typewriter and say, oh, that's what my forefathers used. Before your father was born, before your grandfather was born, my generation have used the typewriter for centuries. And then somebody is saying, look at where we are. There is a methodology for typing out and communicating with people that is easier. In fact, you could sit on your bed naked and voice what you want to say, and it is transcribed and it's sent instantly to the people you want it to be sent to, irrespective of their number. But this person says, no, my great-great-grandfather used telegram. I remember how my father told me that, you would send somebody and for days and for months, the person would have to find a way to deliver the letter. That is the culture that I was born into. That is how I understand family life is. If you just have a passion and somebody has a challenge in marriage, you have to be stern with the person. You shout at the person, you make him see reasons why you should be a submissive wife, see reasons why a man cannot be that emotionally dumb and all of that. And then you advise them on what to do. And you even share your knowledge from your own marriage, what has worked for you. If there is anyone here who is still caught in that mindset, permit me to introduce you that the cheese has moved. Marriage coaching, marriage counseling is no longer just gathering people and telling them what has worked for you, because these people are not you, didn't grow up in your home, didn't have your life experiences, and have not internalized the things that happened to them the way you would have internalized it. So that's my role for today, to ensure that I'm able to help you understand the new rules, see how you can install them, and what you need to quickly do if you want to remain competent and effective as a family life practitioner. I'm sure a lot of reflections would have come up from what you did yesterday with PF. So I'll just ask that for some 1 or 2 minutes, what's your reflection from day one? What was that thing that hit you? And if you were here on day one and you are also here on day two, what was that made you say, you know what? If day one gave me this insight, I can't miss day two. So I want to see your chats in the chat room, because the best way to predict the future is to create it. And it's oftentimes not from even the things that are seen, but from the unseen, because once you are comfortable with the unseen, you can create the seen. So anyone, come to the chat room. What is it that stood out for you yesterday that you're taking away from the session you had yesterday, even as we continue? Okay. I'm still going to put my eyes in the chat room, but I'm going to start running quickly with what I have to share with you. So from the chat room, I'm seeing somebody says, appreciating myself. Don't judge people on face value. The book should not be judged by its cover. I can't use the old method of counseling and I should stop assuming. Changing my mindset. The principle of neutrality. 2 questions to ask is why and how. Fantastic. And I'm sure that yesterday PF also gave you an exercise to begin to identify the beliefs that you no longer want to characterize how you show up in your practice, and also to write a new commitment letter to yourself. Okay, so thank you. More people are talking. Monetizing my skill. Both the victim and perpetrator can be clients. Separate clearly from those who need you and those who want you. Certifications without contextualization. Be a professional and belief system. Awesome. So the first rule of transformational family life practice, whether you be in the marriage space, in the teen space, in the parenting space, so long as you're working in family life, the first rule is the law of borderlessness. The law of borderlessness. And what does that mean? It means that you must be able to work with clients from everywhere in the world. If what you are doing, and except you're saying, I am a localized Igbo coach, and I'm only going to work with, my methodology is based on the Igbo tradition, systems, customs, and so my methodology applies only to the Igbo race. Even at that, that is also problematic, because we're in a world where people are migrating. So even if this traditional Igbo man, by virtue of civilization, migration, urbanization, meets with a Yoruba lady and they get married, you know, your system cannot work effectively in their home because it has not taken account another person. That's just a micro way of putting it, that you must be able to work with people from everywhere around the world. So how do you do that? If your work is not research-based, if your work does not go beyond tribe, beyond creed, beyond religion, and beyond even ethnicity. So it's important that if you are going to thrive in this age, you must be borderless. Somebody from Asia can encounter your work, and by the way you describe what you're doing, by the results you're getting, by the command of your methodology, they are able to sign up to you. Somebody who is not from your tribe, who is not of your religion, can work with you. That's the first rule if you want to remain relevant in this age. And there is a methodology like the FSC tools that can help you work from anywhere and with anyone, because it is fundamentally built around the principles and the science of human behavior. And so because of that, it accounts for the behavior of human beings, irrespective of tribe, location, or creed. As I take these laws, please pay attention, because when I wrap it up, I'm going to be asking you to be honest with yourself and to review your practice to know if you are operating in these laws already, or which is the weakest law that you need to quickly integrate into what you're doing. And whether you are already an established family life practitioner, you are in the intermediate stage, or you are just aspiring. In fact, for those aspiring, I'm going to be giving you a clap. If you can hear me, please let me know, okay? So like I was saying, you are right at the place where you need to be if you are just starting, because the sooner you install these laws in your practice, the better you can scale up and do exponential impact in the work that you're doing. So the second law of transformational family life practice is the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis. The law of accurate and speedy diagnosis. In fact, the speed has to really be speeding. And what do I mean? Because even each year, if you are very observant about what is happening, even locally in your country, in your continent, and globally across the world, you would see that people's attention span is even decreasing the more. The more we interact with internet and social media, the more people are in a hurry to achieve whatever it is, the more the rat race intensifies, the more that people do not have that patience to sit through long processes. So the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis, it's non-negotiable. So it's not enough that you are passionate. Oh, I love to see marriages thrive. Oh, I love to see adolescents adjust to life well. Oh, I love to see families be integrated and in harmony. That's not enough. In fact, your passion is the lowest entry level. So even when you match the tools, okay, I have some tools, I have some exercises I do with my clients, that's not enough. If it is not such that they are able to understand and you can help them diagnose what is happening with them at the speed of light. In fact, before even you sit down to start talking about the people. Oh, okay, tell me what has been happening in your marriage? And the husband starts and he goes on and on and on, and you, the practitioner, the wife is even yawning because the man is just telling stories and you are tired, but you just have to be there because, like, I'm passionate, right? And then the woman starts her own and she drags it and drags it and drags it and drags it, that even before you can even understand what they're saying is going on with them, you have spent 2 hours and you've not even hit the nail on the head. And then you postpone, they come again another day and start that long process. No, 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 no. Nobody is going to have that patience to sit with you through that. Now look at it in another way. Imagine that you have a system in place where you can administer science-based psychometric evaluation. So somebody reaches out to you, oh, I think there's something going on in my marriage, and I would like to speak with you as a professional. You don't even begin to entertain stories. You say, okay, so I would like for you to take these evaluations just the way you go to hospital. And then you present your case and the doctor will say, you know what, you need to run some tests. And then based on the test, is able to say, oh, I see this. Oh, I see this. I think it is because this is at this level. That's why this is happening to you. And this is what I think you should do. That is where family life practice is, where you are able to a very large extent run those assessments with your clients, and then from your analysis and their results, you are able to send them a report and they go, wow, we didn't even tell you what was happening, but this is so spot on. That is where the industry is now. So if you're that passionate person, whether faith-based, whether you're running NGO, whether you're building a personal practice, and you still find yourself caught up with people telling you stories that even drains you, then you are really not operating in this law. And as we progress, FSC, the family systems engineering is that training that gives you this assessment that helps you to operate at the accurate and speedy diagnosis. The third law is the law of motion sensitivity. When you are able to sense where movement is going to, and then you are there already before even everyone or even the person knows that you have intercepted them. That's what we need in practitioners in this age. Because think about it. In the past, clients will come to you. Somebody would say, oh, you're having a problem. Go and talk to Mrs. So. When my daughter was having this, it was Mr. So that spoke with them. Clients in the past come to you. But in this age, in this creator economy age, in this continuation of the information age that has even blown up even more, you must master the tools that enables you to go and live with them. If you're someone who is passionate about family, about marriage, and you do not understand how intentional signaling is done, then you're here. That's why you're here. Because you need to move. You need to be someone that people will be queuing up. In fact, sometimes clients want me to work with them, and I'm like, oh, my calendar is full right now. Would you mind if I recommend you to a colleague? I can do a good recommendation and give a vote of confidence. And you're hearing stuff like, no, ma, I'm going to wait. When will your calendar open up? You think it is because there's juju that you're doing? It's because they have tapped into your signaling and understood that this is the person that I feel understands me. This is the person that I feel has the solution. Why? Not because you're just there shouting and showing up on every interaction in social media, but when you show up and you say something and you write something, there is depth in it. And that is one way. The second is, how are you showing up? Some people that are in the family life space, you come to even their digital footprints, and there's nothing resonating with you there. You cannot even marry their personal branding, the way they show up in their social media with the work they are doing. That is you not signaling intentionally. Do you know that if you are a family life practitioner and the people in your circle do not know what you're doing, you're not signaling effectively. Maybe you're combining what you're doing with paid employment, and in your office, nobody even knows that this is a person that you can work with in family life. Depending on the niche you're showing up, then your signal is very weak. In your town meetings, in your associations, no one can say, you know what, when it comes to parenting, this is the person. When it comes to this, that means that your motion sensitivity is at the lowest and you need to do something about it. I've seen people who choose to work with me or me and my husband because they say, you know what? I just see you on social media and I'm like, oh, if this is a family, if this is a couple that are professional marriage coaches and their life is this way, then that's the person I want to work with, because already I can see the mirroring, I can see the modeling of the life. Am I saying you should come out on social media and dance under the rain like my husband and I would do? Not necessarily. But if you know the energy that you want to be known for, you know the energy, the vibe that you want to be associated with when people are looking for the honest coach that will allow them, that will create safe space for them and let them be vulnerable. Your messaging, your voice must depict that online. If they are looking for the intellectual one that can help you have cerebral conversations, the kind of post you put out should tell somebody that this one is highly intellectual. If you're looking for somebody to see you as that friendly coach who that they can be themselves with, then that is the energy that you should be giving out. So my question to you tonight is, what is the intentional signaling that you're giving out both offline and online? Because this is not the dispensation where you sit for clients to come to you. Your life, Your voice, your messaging is the signal that will make them come to you. And you must master the tools of speaking the language of the people that you are sent to. You cannot be working in the family life space and you're talking to Gen Zs and you're speaking the language of Gen X. That's not intentional signaling. You cannot be coming to family life space and you want to mentor men. You want men to be able to teach them how to lead, and you don't understand the language of leadership, then you're not signaling appropriately. The next law that is very important, and sometimes I see my African people particularly struggling with this, is the law of constant and never-ending improvement. Look, every day newer research is showing up. I remember when I wrote a book in 2021, and I had sent the book to another authority to write a review. And this was an authority who was a doctor in social works. And she said to me, oh, there's a research you referenced there. I know the research, but that research is old. There are newer research in that subject matter. And that made me sit again to look at that research. Interestingly, yesterday I was also having a conversation with another colleague with whom we rub minds together. And we're talking about a concept, and that same conversation came up. Oh, there are newer research in the past 1 year, in the past 2 years for that subject matter. But there are people who operate in the family life space that are still building authority, still shouting in the loudest voice with research that is 50 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old. Meanwhile, on that same subject matter, there are newer research that is 6 months old, 1 year old, 2 years old. And so imagine for a moment that we wanted to write on something, a subject matter on family life, or both of us are pitching to get a government contract to do some family life intervention, or even it is to pitch to recruit a client. And then you come with your argument based on a research and boldly be saying, based on a research, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's a 1990 research. And I'm saying, in recent times, based on the research in 2024 that took into cognizance the newer realities post-COVID. I know, in the research world, we have categorization pre-COVID and post-COVID now, but even that, there are even newer research. Who do you think would gain the ears of the audience more? You, that your research has been toppled by newer research, or me that seems to be current in the field? The rate of new information is faster than usual. So you need to be current with information, but because how many of these research papers, how many of this information can you single-handedly be on top of per time? That's why you need a community that promotes continuous development and innovative tools. At the Institute, we review our curriculum based on ongoing research. Even when you get trained in family systems engineering, you also join the network of practitioners, where you also get people who are subject matter experts ahead of you on the field, sharing also the work that you're doing. Take, for example, in my academy, the Statue of Marriage Right Academy, we just published a 2026 Future of Premarital Coaching report. And that was based on research that was done, first starting with surveying Nigerians to know how effective they felt that their premarital counseling, which they did, was effective, and then taking on research from key African countries like Cameroon, Zambia, Gambia, Ghana, and some other African countries, and then coming up with a report. So imagine if somebody is pitching and saying, you know what, premarital coaching is the way to stop divorce. You know, people these days, they are not getting enough premarital counseling. And I'm saying that this is the future of premarital coaching, and I show statistics from this report, I'm going to be listening to more than the person that is just talking from head knowledge. But you don't have to even do all of this research if you belong to a community that is always churning it out. And that's what IFED gives you when you take the Family Systems Engineering Certification course. Because the day you stop learning as somebody who has chosen to devote their life to helping humanity, that is the day your capacity to wreck lives continues to increase. Because if you stop learning, then you should pack up your practice literally, because you may be sabotaging or be wrecking the lives of people if you're still stuck on old knowledge and you're not transforming yourself. So the law of constant and never-ending improvement is something you can tap into if you belong to a community that is always learning and improving, such like you get when you take the Family Systems Engineering course. Now let's look at the law of audacity. I love all of the laws, but maybe because I'm in my late 40s, almost getting to 50, so I look at life and I say to myself, if you are not audacious now, when are you going to activate audacity? But I'm not asking you to wait till you're 40 to activate audacity. You can activate it even at 20 and see the trajectory that your life will take. How does the law of audacity relate or is relevant in family life? Why is it a new rule of transformational family life practice that we should speak about? Audacity, courage, boldness, fearlessness, not just to have it, but to execute it. Look, you are not God's favorite child, where he just gives only you ideas and that is where it ends. God loves all of his children, and therefore ideas are placed on a frequency and it responds to the fastest finger. Have you ever, in all of your life, particularly in family life or even any other sphere of your life, an idea drop in your mind and you're dilly-dallying with it? You're trying to fine-tune it to make it perfect. You're procrastinating on it. Oh, I'm going to do this later. Oh, I'll look at this later. And then you wake up 1 week after, 1 month after, 3 months after, and somebody is running with that idea. It almost feels like the person entered your head and stole the idea that you have been ruminating over. Somebody just peeped into your notes and lifted your concept, almost looking word for word, system by system, and they are running with it. And you're like, hey, I have been thinking about this since last month. Jesus, this is that idea that I have been trying to build since 1 year. Has that happened to anyone? If you have experienced it, please come to the chat room and give me a thumbs up. Because the ideas are not waiting for only you. As is scattered in the minds and hearts of men, it is those who can pick it up and run with it that are the early implementers, that are the people that will get the credit for the work. It doesn't matter whether you have been dreaming about it for years. Do you have the audacity to stand up and do it? I say to my mentees, you don't want an idea falls in your head, that's the day you begin to take baby steps to executing it. Because guess what? If you slow down on it, if you procrastinate on it, another person is running with it and the person didn't steal your idea. Audacity is you showing up convincingly knowing that no idea is fully formed, knowing that if you don't need to wait for perfection. As you implement in the field, you gain clarity. Clients are going to be giving you feed forward, and then you would, tweak and amend what you're doing. Because I get people saying, oh, I don't know if this is good enough to put it out there. Oh, I don't know if this will meet a need. If it was dropped in your spirit and you even have tried it and one person responded to that call, it means it is a call that humanity is looking for. And it's not, this period is not a time to just sit in our homes, to just stay in our WhatsApp groups and be complaining. Oh, did you see what so and so person put out? Ah, that is mediocre work. Hello. Nobody is going to come into your brain to know what you have. It is the person who is shouting the loudest that is assumed to know the most. So if you have all these beautiful ideas, if you have methodology that works, and you are not out there standing on the mountaintop, shouting in the most convincing voice, reporting the work you do. Somebody said something and I smiled the day I read it. It said, how to grow your business is to solve the problems that you solve visibly. I know years back when I was caught up in, we're just going to do the work silently. And, when people get results, they will send us referrals. Whilst referrals is one way to do the family life business, is the lowest level. Because guess what? What if your client that you have worked with and got result for wants to keep you as their best secret? What if they don't want people to know that you help them navigate this? What if they are still... So if you're banking on referrals, you are wasting time that you could have done exploits. So you need to get out there and say the value that you bring. We're seeing the Indaboskis of this world coming out, not minding whether they speak Queen's English, not minding whether they look like a comedian, but standing boldly and speaking what they are saying. We're seeing people who, when you listen to them, you're wondering, is this person okay? Hosting hundreds of people in a webinar on relationship where he is literally teaching them rubbish. But you, who knows the right thing to teach, that has even taught it somewhere and has gotten results, you are hiding in your homes. And I say to people, why are you not sharing this methodology online? It's like, I don't have good lighting equipment. Oh, I'm shy to be in front of the camera. There is 1,000,001 excuses you can give yourself, but let me tell you, the difference is because you lack audacity. Audacity will make you step out. And please, when you're stepping out with value. You don't want to be that practitioner that will come out and make empty noise. You want to step out with audacity, but when you deliver, lives have changed. And people can testify that it was transformational. Because when you make noise as an empty vessel, and yes, you're audacious, you are shouting, you are getting the numbers, it's just a matter of time. The more the market sees that you're just a fluke, the more the market comes to you, and then they don't get value for their money, then that is when your business begins to decline. I am of the school of thought that when you promise a transformation in anything you're doing with your clients, you should over-deliver. That anybody who works with you will say, this was more than I expected. In fact, I got more value than was advertised. That's how you should show up. And it takes you knowing the system and having research-proven tools, and of course, merging it with audacity and stepping into the world to do that work that you have been called to do. Okay, so what's the next law? These are okay, so these are the rules you need to activate. I'm going to remind you again, the law of borderlessness, where you can work with anybody irrespective of the nationality, the creed, the location or whatever of the person. Secondly, the law of motion sensitivity, where you're intentional signaling. Third, we talked about the law of continuous and never-ending improvement. And we also looked at the law of audacity, which for me is the mother or the father of all the laws. And again, the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis. So come to the chat room. What are the two topmost laws that you think you need to activate? Oh, before I even finish, Rita has volunteered. She said, I need to activate all. Rita, thank you for being honest. If you need to activate all, I want to charge you. Do all that is within your power to enroll for family systems engineering. Because when you take that training, you will activate the law of borderlessness, the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis, the law of motion sensitivity, the law of never-ending constant improvement, and the law of audacity. Okay, Uduak says audacity, all the laws are important. I know that the laws are important, Wumi. I'm asking for you, where you are in your practice, which of these laws do you think you need? Now we're personalizing it. Look at yourself. Look at your practice. Which laws do you need to activate? Jane says to activate all. Trevor, activate all. Joe, activate all. Celeste says the law of audacity and the law of accuracy speaks to me, and once activated, I will die on it. Fantastic. Law of audacity, law of borderlessness. Oh, fantastic. I need to activate all of the laws. I need. Amazing. So that shows that you all were listening to me, paying attention and following through. And also the fact that you are able to look at yourself and choose vulnerability rather than hiding behind something. So well done. So let's move the conversation forward. If you are saying that you need to activate some of those laws or all of those laws, let's take the conversation forward. Okay? Now, when you look at this, if you're familiar with football, you will know the two people on my screen, the goats and the goats. Because people will argue that Messi is the best thing that has happened to football. And other people will come in and say that, oh, Ronaldo is the best thing since the round leather ball was discovered. But whether you are Camp Messi or you are Camp Ronaldo, one thing is clear. These individuals know their game. These individuals play their game with audacity. These individuals deliver results. So if you're going to look at the Messi of family life, the Ronaldo of family life, would you want to be that competent family life professional that the world needs? That people would work with you and be like, oh, this is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. This is the best family life experience I've had. If you want to be that competent person, then as we continue this conversation, it is for you. So let me show you what the family systems engineering approach looks like. And I always say that if you bear in mind the metaphor of healthcare, where you don't just come to the hospital and you see the doctor and you tell the doctor, I'm having headache and I've had this headache for 3 hours, for 1 week, for going to 2 weeks now, and immediately the doctor would say, write prescription and say, take this medication. If a doctor does that, that is a quack doctor. That means the doctor is not well trained, because we understand that headaches can be caused by different things. Somebody can have headache and it's because the person is dehydrated, that a cup of water might just be what would reduce the headache. Somebody might have headache and it's because their blood pressure is not regulated. Somebody might have headache and because it is a sign of an infection or whatever. So it means that a competent family life practitioner is like that doctor who does not start to dish out advice. Oh, my husband is not talking to me. And you say, you know what? That's how men are. When they are stressed out, they don't talk to you. You need to cook him a special soup. Oh, my wife is not responding in bed, so we're not enjoying our sex life. And you say, Oga, it means you have annoyed madam. You have annoyed madam. You need to give her a gift. You are likened to the quack doctor, because there could be a variety of reasons why the husband is not talking to her. There could be a myriad of situations why the woman is not responding in bed. So the first thing to do is to troubleshoot. And you troubleshoot with your assessment. And of course, the quality of questions that you are asking. And then when you administer the assessment, you go through the result. There are different ways to analyze the results, which you will be taught in class, and then you interpret the results. And the interpretation of the result will now help them build the required systems such that two couples could be dealing with communication issue. The intervention that couple A would need will be different from the intervention that couple B will need. But if you don't troubleshoot properly, you could just be dishing out the same intervention. Now imagine if, let me give an example. So somebody is dealing with, please, can you hear me clearly? Let me know. Is it lagging from my end? Because Uchechukwu is saying network is poor. So I want to confirm, is the network poor from my end or from Uchechukwu's end? So if you can hear me clearly, please come to the chat room and tell me so that I know that it's not from my end. Okay. Thank you. So I was trying to, give some clarity. So imagine, for example, two couples are having communication issue, right? And then you troubleshoot and you find out that the first couple, the husband grew up in a home where the father was this aggressive person who felt that the way to exert authority as a man was by shouting and shutting down his wife and children, because that's what he knows. As in, if you have to be a man, you need to be very authoritative, or these women, if you allow them, they will be looking for allowance. And now he's married, for example, to a wife who is the firstborn child. And because she's the firstborn child, she's used to giving instructions to her siblings. And so that communication style of giving instruction, she brought it to the home. Now imagine what communication will look like for them. Mr. Macho is trying to assert himself as the king of this kingdom and is screaming and dishing out orders. The wife, who is also used to dishing out orders, is also screaming at home. So it's going to be a shouting match. So when you troubleshoot, you will know that you have to start off by letting them understand how their upbringing and their position in their family has impacted their communication, and then teaching them how to step out of that and define who they want to be as a husband, and the woman understanding how to switch from firstborn commander to a wife in a marriage. Then there is another couple, the same problem, communication issues. Now, this communication issue is presented such like the man was abused as an adolescent when he was in secondary school. And because of that, he lost his sense of identity, and he doesn't assert himself. He just is an OES member, because he doesn't feel that, who am I to be able to talk? Who am I? What space do I have in the world to even make demands of anybody? So the wife is frustrated because he's laid back. You can't even reach to him. He's bottled up. The pain has made him shut down his authentic voice. And this is married to a woman who is a chatterbox, who is a typical life of the party that needs to talk. And then people around are saying, she has put her husband in the box. The man is not even the man, is not talking. Meanwhile, the history of the man shutting down himself started long before he met this woman. But if you don't troubleshoot, you're going to bring two of them and you're saying, no, you need to learn to communicate. Sir, you need to also respect your wife when you're talking, because you didn't do root cause analysis. Awareness is the starting of transformation. When the person knows that unconsciously they are embodying even the shouting style of his father, who I can almost tell you he swore never to be like, that's where the healing starts. And until you help that second man to heal from the trauma that has stolen his identity, anything you're teaching him about communicating, about having a voice, you are just doing mechanical work, because it's not going to be long lasting. The real problem has not been tackled. You have not helped him go from being the boy whose voice was silenced to now being a man who understands that he has a right to a voice and his voice should be heard. So you see how the same challenge two couples are having, but the intervention with them is different, simply because I was able to troubleshoot, find out the root causes of their peculiar challenges, interpret it. That is only when I can now give them a solution that can work. So sometimes you spend hours advising people who don't have the capacity to do what you're advising them to do, because they cannot do it. It's like somebody is in intensive care unit on how to be emotionally available, and you keep saying you need to be emotionally available. You just need to try. Your wife is complaining of emotional availability. Have you checked if this man understands what emotional availability means? Have you checked his relationship with the significant male factor in his life? How did he see his father treat emotions? How did he see his father respond to emotions? Where was he taught how to be emotionally available? What are the hindrances to emotional availability? Has he been one that was once emotionally available and he felt betrayed and he felt humiliated? Until you diagnose properly and deal with issues from the root cause, you will just be there talking, dishing out advice, and not making great transformational change, because you are not doing the right thing. That's what the FSC approach will do for you, because we're going to teach you how to troubleshoot. We're going to teach you how to interpret the data that you have gotten, and only then can you now build systems. So you see that even if you have worked with 50 men on how to be a man, you cannot just juxtapose that to the 51st man without first understanding who that man is, how upbringing has impacted him, how environment has influenced him, and how he has internalized the emotional experiences that happened to him. Because until you do that, you are doing mechanical work. I can see comments coming in. It means that it's resonating with you. So the question is, do you have tools in your practice with which you currently troubleshoot? How are you interpreting the data that you pick up. And based on your interpretation, would you beat your chest and say, to a very large extent, I'm able to help my clients towards the right intervention because I have deeper root cause analysis of what is going on with them? If you don't have these tools and these skills, then family systems engineering is that answer that you have silently been praying for. So this is just taking it deeper into that framework. This is just taking it deeper. And what does it mean? Our goal in the Institute of Family Engineering and Development is to raise a healthy society. And we know that how we can do that is by raising competent family life practitioners. Because when people can assess the right help, irrespective of their cultures, then they're able to build sustainable family systems. That's why we are championing the training of family life practitioners, because when we have many competent and trained hands, then they can actually go on and do transformative work. So what do? We start with, first of all, helping the individuals who come to our training to experience personal wholeness. If you were here when Chijioke was talking about his experience, he did talk about how it helped him to address areas in his life where he didn't even think that he needed healing. So that's part of what we do. So as we do that, we also teach you how to master the power of meaning, because the power of meaning is very critical. Two people can be told that you are useless, and one internalizes it and feels insulted, whereas the other looks at you are useless and sees that somebody is saying that they are not using all of their potentials. Because if you look at the word useless, it is from two root words, use and less. So imagine if you understand the power of meaning, and when somebody says you are useless, you interpret it that the person is saying, I'm using less of what I am capable of. I'm using less of my potentials. I can assure you, you will not be so negatively impacted by that seeming abuse compared to somebody who just sees useless as an abuse. That's just a way to look at every other thing. The things that impact us in life, negatively and positively, has to do with the meanings we give to it. So it's a whole concept of psychology on the power of meanings, and we're going to be able to teach you that so that you can also teach your clients, because that's how people can live above stress and external aggression. That if you master the power of meaning, you are able to protect the heaven inside of you, that no matter what is happening in the hell outside of you, it doesn't impact you that much. So when I boldly say to women who come to me in my Get Your Power Back program, and I say to them, you can still be happy and in inner peace, even if you are in a marriage that is not giving you joy and you do not want to leave that marriage, because there is a way to stay in an unhealthy environment and not be impacted by it. It is because I know how to help them activate the power of meaning after they have healed themselves of bitterness and resentment, and you can also learn that. So we help practitioners also discover how they have been engineered and their patterns, and that takes the conversation forward. Christine is saying, I have never thought of that word useless that way. That's a great mindset shift. And there are many mindset shifts you can help your clients do if you understand the power of meaning and you can communicate it in ways that your client can understand and not undermine their pain. So you don't just come to somebody who has been betrayed and is heartbroken and you're saying, you can change the meaning and this heartbreak will not have impact on you. It's not sounding empathetic. You must understand that their pain and the emotions they feel is valid. Validate those emotions and then use the skills to help them live above it. So there is a way to do it beyond just telling them change the meaning. Okay? So we also help practitioners to be able to professionally profile their clients, diagnose what is going on with them, and write reports. So I've spoken about that when I talked about the law of speedy and accurate diagnosis. Then we move our practitioners to be able to move away from subjectivity into a more scientific-based approach. That's also part of what I have been saying in all this while when I was talking about, you don't just listen with your head. You listen with your heart, but more so with curiosity to say, this person who was created in the image and likeness of God, and God created this person and said, it is good. How did this human being created in the image and likeness of God become this person who takes delight in breaking hearts? How did this person who was born pure become this child who has turned to drugs? What may have gone wrong in this man's life that has made this man? That's the curiosity you come with, because all of us are made in the image and likeness of God. And so if somebody is struggling with something, if somebody is dealing with some situation, something went wrong somewhere, your work starts from trying to decipher where did it go wrong, so that if we get to where it went wrong, we can start the journey of repair. We can start the journey of restoration from a knowledge data-based point. And I am saying that there are assessment and tools and methodologies that can help you start the change work from this curiosity. Where did it all start going wrong? Then you help them understand their different personalities and the triggers, such that what is triggering their marital crisis, so that you can help them. Okay, so what else? Somebody says sometimes we as a practitioner face this kind of family scenario in our homes. We can practice these theories in our homes. Of course, when you learn these theories, the way you show up in your home changes. I always say to people that your home is the first place to integrate the skills and the tools you're learning. That is spot on. If you take the conversation forward, if, for example, you are having challenges in your relationship, as much as there are certain things you would learn that you can apply, it's not advisable to be the wife, the husband, and still be the interventionist in your own marriage. So for proactive steps, for setting up the systems in your homes, yes, of course, you apply this. When you take your training, you do all of the assessment for your family members, love language, personality, and all of that to understand yourselves. But if there's already a crisis, if there's a point of conflict, you cannot be the one in the conflict and still be coaching yourself out of the conflict. Because first of all, you may become sentimental. You may even, as the person who knows more, if your partner is not trained, become like trying to like school your partner. And then the person is seeing you like judging them and not take responsibility for your own part. So for cases like that, you need to submit your marriage and you and your partner to another colleague who can do a neutral work with you, because you cannot be the one in the marriage and also be the coach to coach yourself out of the marriage. You will not do a thorough job. Which is why when practitioners come for the training and they take our Oyela, which is one of the Oyela, the marital health check, we have different ratings. There is a score you get and it shows that your marriage is in coma, or your score shows that your marriage is in threshold. I quickly recommend to them that they need to sit with a practitioner with their spouse, because if their marriage shows coma or threshold, it's already a warning signal. And what they have learned is not enough to change that, because they are the ones in the marriage. They might need to work with another marriage family life practitioner who can now help them do a thorough job. So everything I'm saying here, you analyze that, you are able to understand the root cause of it. You have a broader perspective to family life. Then you are able to now help them build systems based on your analysis, and you clearly can help them understand how to build systems and counter systems, because we always say that it takes a superior system to topple an existing system. So if a family is always quarreling about, oh, the man is frustrated that, you know, where I'm somebody who likes law and order, I like things to be where they're supposed to be, and then he doesn't like the fact that his house is not organized. You know, unconsciously, everybody is living a system. Because what's a system? A way of doing things that brings everything together. So even that dysfunctional home has a dysfunctional system. So the way you need to is by your work you're doing with them, you're already seeing their current system, and you can poke the loopholes in their current system and then build a counter system that is more superior to it, because you dismantle systems by systems. You don't dismantle systems by advice. You don't dismantle systems by only prayer. Prayer can work the spiritual aspect of it, but human behavior problems are fixed by superior human behavior problems. So if you understand the systems that is dysfunctional or is giving their current myopic, mediocre results, you can now build a higher, more superior system to counter that, okay? So I want to quickly run this so that we can move on. So again, you as a practitioner, you are able to understand the systems responsible for societal decadence, including the errors, the assumptions, culture. So that is the family's systems engineering results framework expanded beyond just troubleshooting, interpreting, and building systems. And so I'm still talking more about the model. I just want you to see that this is what I've been talking about. We do a comprehensive assessment to accurately diagnose the real issues. You review it with your clients after you've sent them your professional results, and then you recommend the specific marriage, family systems engineering result coaching interventions that they might need. Because data continuously shows us that at the root of many marital crises is either somebody is ignorant of themselves, because so that gives them a trauma-induced personality. I tried to talk about that when I was talking about the man who has lost his identity because of being bullied and being abused as an adolescent while growing up, excuse me. Or somebody is ignorant of their spouse. They don't even know the person they're married. They feel they fell in love with this fun-loving person. What if the person is using fun as a coping mechanism? Oh, I love his work ethics. What if his work ethics is a coping mechanism because he wants to prove a point and is slowly hiding away something? Or ignorance of marriage. They don't even understand what marriage means to both of them. Or ignorance of the building techniques that makes marriage work, often powered by their beliefs. Because you're going to learn how to help people sieve out what they believe in different areas of their life and marriage, if those beliefs are going to help them get the results they want, and if it is not going to help them do the behaviors that will get the result, now help them to change the beliefs so that their beliefs can influence new positive behaviors that will ordinarily also lead to new positive outcomes. Of course, the ignorance of the marital enemies and how to handle them. Why I'm showing you this is to show you the different templates that we have. So this is also another template that we use in family systems engineering, and it is called the Family Systems Engineering Dream Team Strategy Template. That you want to help a couple build the marriage of their dreams, the marriage that whatever it is that has positive end results, and a marriage that is a sustainable legacy, there are different things to consider. And when you take FSC, you would be taught this dream team strategy, that even just deploying this for a family, the minimum you can get paid as much as a 250,000, a 400,000, a 500,000 to deploy this. Because once you are able to help them design these 11-man elements and teach them how to install the systems that can help each of these critical areas of a dream team, and also teach them how to continuously troubleshoot to know where one of the key man, the 11 men in this dream team are going bad and what to do immediately. That's all they need to build that marriage of their dreams. So it is a vital strategic template. And in that, we talk about talent, the vision, their values, their skill, purpose, fitness, team spirit, understanding, continuous development, strategy, and technical crew. And you have already designed coaching questions with which you can take the families through to build this dream team, and then they can now revisit it maybe quarterly, maybe half yearly, to ensure that it is still running as should be. What else can I tell you about FSC? I think that we have spoken at length, but it is that, thank you, Francisca. It is that course where you will discover how you have been engineered and how you can re-engineer yourself to become happy again, how you can become a master family life practitioner who can solve complex problems with ease. You understand how to use the family systems engineering tools so that you can adequately, accurately diagnose marital cases in less than 20 minutes and prepare your reports. You are able to run basic family life therapeutic interventions. You are also able to build a business out of family life. Then you become certified to work across different cultures with tools that are globally relevant. And you belong to a tribe of practitioners who are working together to create a new Africa and a new world at large. Now, the almighty question is, what will you do differently? Based on the conversation we've started yesterday with Praise for Wowe, and then we continued it today, what will you do differently to build the family life practice of your dreams and help humanity create long-lasting transformational changes? What is that thing you think you need to do? Please come to the chat room and let me know. What is that one thing you think you need to do? What do you need to do to build that transformational practice of your dreams? Because we already know what we are committed to doing, and it's to produce the most competent family life practitioners humanity deserve and assist them to become highly profitable across the globe within 3 months. Because this training is 12 weeks, so it's 3 months. And after the 3 months, you also get additional 3 months to do your assisted field work. Okay, so that is what we need to do. Somebody say enroll immediately. Oh my goodness, enroll immediately, enroll immediately, get trained immediately, join the training, work on my research, need to register, need to learn, enroll immediately. So if we are there where we want to enroll immediately, let me introduce you to what we have for you. So I'm going to just stay and look at your faces because this is a family conversation. For as many people that want to join the training, like I said, it is a 12 weeks training. It is purely online. You're going to have access to the pre-recorded modules. And of course, we're going to settle you in fantastically. We meet once a week, every Friday, to review the module for the week. And of course, you get to meet different facilitators. There are going to be some sessions that will be classes that will be taken by PF. I'm going to be taking some classes. You're going to also meet some other facilitators. And I would tell you that the facilitators you're meeting were once students like you, okay? So we have a criteria of inviting people to join the College of Facilitators based on their performance after the training, after their certification. So if you're here and you're like, oh, I want to even be able to raise competent family life practitioners using the family systems engineering model, you can actually also become a facilitator. But it starts from first taking the class. So yes, the class is 12 weeks. It is selling at 600,000, about 414 US dollars. However, we have a special webinar offer. If you are at this webinar and you want to pay at once, you get some discounts and you get to pay 540,000 naira, the equivalent in dollar. Or you are like, I want to also lock down my slots. You can do a deposit of 200,000 and then spread the balance across 3 installments. And what else? We also have student loan. So you want to do student loan, you want to take the training, but you can't raise the funds immediately now. We are partnering with a financial institution that can give student loan. So please note that the financial institution would check out your eligibility for it, and then if you qualify, they will advance you that. Terms and conditions applying. So once you click on that link that admin has shared, it will show you the different payment options, whether you want to pay at once, whether you want to lock your slot with 200,000, or whether you want to even explore the payment, the student loan. All of that is here, is there. So click on it. Please let me say that this is the last time, the very last time that this family systems engineering course will sell at 600. From the next batches, the prices will be reviewed upward. And let me tell you, this is one training where you get much more than you paid for. Number one, we don't only train you 12 weeks to master the approach. Once you start your batch, you will be assigned a mentor. Now, this is not a one-to-one mentor. It is a mentor group by group, maybe in pairs of 5, in pairs of 7, in pairs of 10, depending on how large the class is. Now, this mentor is like an additional support. We, the facilitators, will show up on Friday to take you through the module for that week, promise you to do a thorough job. Your mentor is now with you, helping you to fine-tune the areas you don't understand, to help you go through your home plays and give you feed forward on it. And that is at no additional cost. The training cost already covers that. After you have done your 12 weeks in class, we also will keep the mentors with you for an additional 3 months, another 12 weeks, giving you extended opportunity to further master the areas you've not mastered and to offer you supervision and guidance whilst you do your field work. So it is 6 months of free mentoring at no additional cost. Please note that we pay the mentors for mentoring you, and all of that is what you are paying for in your training fee. So it is a training that at the heart of it wants you to be competent. That's why we put all of this in place. And that's why I'm telling you that this is the last batch where we're going to sell the course at this price, because we are needing the monies that are going to be paid is also very important. So that is it from me. I will put my eyes in the chat room if there are any questions that I need to respond to. Olanike said, field work means what? That is post your training. You would have to go to the field and practice what you have taught. And don't worry, we have designed that for you. The training is starting February 6th. What time and day of the week are classes? Fridays, 7 p.m. West African time. So you might want to just juxtapose that on your own time zone to see when it is. I think I've answered all of the questions, and if there are no other questions for me, I will be returning the platform back to Ayobami to continue the interaction.
Wow. Wow. Just wow. That was such an amazing session, so profound and incredibly insightful. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. I want you to just put your hand. Yes, thank you, Fadira. Thank you. You're doing that. Celebrate our coach. Thank you. I mean, you've heard it. You've heard it all. You've heard it all. I want you to say which of the laws caught your attention the most, the one that you are, getting on immediately. And I think that should be the law of constant and never-ending improvement, meaning that you have to invest in yourself so that you improve your skill. So click the link now and get on board. And get on board, because the reason you are not even engaging the law of motion sensitivity, you can't tell even your neighbors that you're a counselor, is because you are not sure of your skills. You are not sure, of what you carry. Your colleagues, they don't even know that you're a counselor. So please click on that link now so that, by improving yourself, you're now bold enough to tell everybody that this is what I do. I have, the framework for this. I have the methodology for this. My tools are sharp and they're smart. No one does it better. You are bold. A lot of us are also not audacious. Why? Because God forbid that you show up talking rubbish, right? This is where to sharpen your skill so that you can go out there and say, oh, I'm also a blessing. I want to also be a blessing. You are sure of what you're saying, right? Thank you so much for showing up for yourself and being with us this far. Thank you so much for this experience of the webinar. Do well again to, reflect and do all you can to get on board for the February batch. Again, you've heard that, the price is going to go up. So it's better to do it now. No need to even wait. And the institute has made it possible that you can even break down your payment. I mean, you have no excuse. You have no excuse. God forbid that you are such a coach that is not able to diagnose your client speedily because you don't have the tools, right? So do it now. Do it now. Come and join us. We can't wait to have you. I personally can't wait to have you. And remember how I said even our general platform is another masterclass. Coach Dinma is also on that platform. So you see people asking questions about their practices, about their experiences, and, people who are like authority, in this industry are there to share their insights. So it's a never ending process. Just get on board. So again, thank you so much. And I hope that you are using the link that the admin is dropping. Thank you so much for showing up. On behalf of the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, I want to say thank you. We celebrate you for staying with us this far. You can also get in touch with the Institute via our Instagram or social media pages, social media handles. Use the links, and just engage the admin. They'll be really there to help you. Thank you so much for such an amazing time tonight. Yeah, and I think that's good night. See you in class. I personally want to see you. All right, see you soon, Jubalani. See you soon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, the law of audacity. Thank you. Good night.
My testimony is the fact that I am finally done with having to listen to clients tell their stories over and over again, or, spend hours listening to stories before you can even make a diagnosis. I'm a social worker and I work in the family life. January this year, I was exhausted already. I wasn't really very, looking forward to sessions again. Hours of listening to clients were driving me crazy. So for me, ESSEC is that the Oyela was just it for me. I think there can be something that would make practice easy. You'll be able to attend to many other people, things, and have things to do with your life. The more I practice with this thing, the easier the course is for me now. I just want to say thank you to the family systems, engineering, family. You made my life easy. You made practice interesting. And I know that many more lives will be blessed, and because now I can work with much more enthusiasm. Thank you very much.
Because for me, I wouldn't want to give a half-baked knowledge. As much as we are passionate about relationship coaching, having the right tools to transform life is a necessity. I've taken courses. I've been coached and mentored by a lot of coaches out there. But I want to tell you that FSC didn't just coach me. It didn't just transform me, but it gave me the tools that I need to transform life as well. So I want to say thank you, Madam Dinma. Thank you for the amazing job you're doing. See, the energy you're seeing her today is a little, it's minute compared to what you will get when you get onto the course proper. I had no rest until I registered. That's the sincere truth. I couldn't wait for the next, because I didn't know whether I'll have the opportunity to get on the next batch. I told myself, Blessing, you know that it's going to happen June, so you must sign up for June. And I signed up for June, despite the fact that I had other engagements. But I want to tell you that even with my master's program running and doing FSC, it was transformational. I had the knowledge that I have never been able to get from other trainings, relationship trainings I have signed up for. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the Dean of Studies. I appreciate the whole team. They made it seamless and they keep you on your toe to walk. As many as are signed up for this, I want you to know that you're in the right place, where you will not only transform lives, but your own life will be transformed as well, giving the results that you desire.
Personally, for me, I know the changes that have happened in my life. I know the changes that have happened in my marriage. I know the changes that have happened in my family. In fact, my wife said yesterday that she probably will need to give praise, some offering or something, because it's like the husband that she's experienced. Any little thing I do or say right now, she will just say his family system. So for us all, it has been wonderful. It has been beautiful. It has been life transforming, truly. It has been life transforming. In fact, I can say that the things that we have garnered in this program, in this process, I don't know if being in church for 10 years can give you that kind of value. Because
Wow.
like I told some of my colleagues, that the content is rich and the content is transforming. And so that has been our experience. And you see, even the fact that the approach is like you first before you even go out there and try to change any other clients is also very remarkable. So if you're trying to do Tree of Life for anybody, do it for yourself. If you're trying to do the Jar of Life, do it for yourself. If you're trying to do Oyela, do it for yourself, so that the content actually passes through you, so that you can deliver, because you can't give what you don't have. I also want to say, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that after like 6 weeks or 7 of this class, I've recouped the school fees that I paid for this class. So every other moment was a bonus. Every other moment was a bonus. So that's how rich and how impactful this program has been for me, and I believe for us all in class. So I want to thank the Institute, thank Praise, thank Dinma, thank everyone, that the team that put this together. Thumbs up to you guys. Thank you very much.
For me, it's been a mind-blowing experience, of exposure, transformation, and like the person who took us through the business of family engineering said, taking me away from my village sense counseling to becoming a professional counselor.
A city
I've been
sense.
native intelligence. Yeah, thank you. I have been counseling for almost 20 years, but honestly, this is just mind-blowing. I'd been doing it with the native intelligence, okay, what I read from scriptures, what we learned, like PF would always say, how did you know how to become a mother? What we learned from our mothers, from our parents, and all that. But honestly, the tools that we've been exposed to in this particular class have been wonderful. I took the assessment for myself. I'm still a work in progress. There were discoveries I was able to make. And even my husband too, this is my 26th year in marriage too. And for us to now, we are discovering that there were things, okay, inherent factors that caused certain challenges that we went through in the course of our marriage. And then we are able to tackle them one after the other. And I'm trusting that I'll be able to reach out even to the community around me.
For me, for about a year or two now, or up to about 2 years, I've wanted to do this course, but one thing or the other. But this June, it wasn't even convenient, but I just made up my mind that I am going to do it. And I'm so grateful to God that I did it. The belief for my home, it has really, really, really affected my own, especially with my son. My oldest son is an adult. There was a day he just came and said, "Mommy, what about if I marry?" Me and my brother, because they are not in the country, we decide to marry a white woman. I said, "There's no problem. But one thing I want to tell you is that before you make up your mind to marry whoever you want to marry, be clear on your beliefs alignment, your values, your goals, your visions." I was educating him. And I said, "You can see me and your dad, we have our issues, but one thing that has kept us is our friendship, and because our beliefs and our values are aligned, so it is working for us." So, "Mommy, that's true." Then a couple of days ago, he just called me and said, "Mommy, I want to leave my job." We were just talking. I said, and as we were talking, the triangle of life just came up. And I was saying, "I'm going to tell you something about life. Your beliefs affect your behavior and ultimately your results." It was during the triangle of life. He said, "Mommy, explain." And by the time we were done, he said, "Mommy, thank you for this." So it is working for me in my immediate family before I transport it to the world. And I have a sister that I've been talking to her about it, and she said, even this afternoon, she said, "I am coming in. I'm going to enroll for the next cohort." So I am very, very grateful to be part of this system. Thank you.
I want to encourage my colleagues that a lot of times you never know what is waiting for you out there until you step out. Since I started telling everybody that, look, I will psychoanalyze you, I will do this, I will do that, and you'll be all right, blah, 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 I see that cases has been coming to me. People I know, I never knew that they are going through so much. They'll literally, throughout yesterday, I didn't have my day. I was just, and I'm just so happy. I can't explain the experience. It's amazing helping people. I'm usually someone that helps, but when you are now helping with wisdom, with a trained mindset, it's a totally different ball game. So I talk like a professional. I have to take my wardrobe. Like, no, I got to be a professional. It's just amazing. To be honest, there is no words for it. I just want to say a very big thank you to the entire institute. A very big thank you to all my colleagues. You guys made it awesome. I remember my first class and I came to the group and I'm like, you guys need to help me to graduate. My life is so cumbersome. And I want to say a very big thank you.
Starting up as a child protection advocate and a parenting coach. So I've been in this for like 7 years. And for me, I thought I've got many strategies. I thought I've got many systems that works. But I just knew, okay, I needed some touch. I needed some, maybe I'm finishing. I thought of, okay, I think coming to the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, we just do the finishing work. Trust me, when I arrived at the institute, I just knew I needed more. In short, my friends calls me the strategist. So you can imagine how it is. People call you the strategist and you are in one place to learn more, maybe to get a finishing touch. And all of a sudden you just knew that that name no fit you first until you upgrade yourself. That was where I was when I joined the Institute of. All through my 12 years, I would say, I went to the university. I spent 5 years in the university. No jokes, seriously. What I've learned under 12 weeks, I'll tell you, it's something that I am yet to wake up from that reality.
My name is Edwin Baebo. I am a pastor. I pastor with House on the Rock, and I preside over House on the Rock, Enugu. I always knew there was something about family systems engineering, even though I've never had the opportunity. And so when I was coming for this program, yes, I knew I was going to come and learn something new, but definitely I wasn't prepared for what I stumbled into. The family systems engineering program, I think for me, has been a life-changing experience. I wish I knew this 30 years ago, and I wish every pastor and every mentor will learn the things I'm learning here. I wish to take this home, and I also seek to bring every single one of my friends and colleagues who are called to the same assignment as myself to come and go through this, because I think it's a compulsory tool for everyone who really wants to help out there with individuals and with families and with marriages.